Guys, I have a question. Do you think that the Holocaust is the most tragic thing that has ever happened in the human history? I want you to pause this video right now and answer in the comment section, because I know that by the time you start watching this video, you might want to change your mind or change your answer. So before you even continue this video, I want you to answer in the comment section if you think that the Holocaust is the most tragic thing that has ever happened in human history. A lady had made a video stating that people treat the Holocaust like the worst thing that has ever happened in human history. Another creator sticks to her video, and this creator, I will advise you guys follow her TikTok, and I think she has a YouTube channel as well. I'll put her TikTok username on the screen so you can as well follow her. She has so many educational videos that I know for a fact that you guys are going to love. So please follow her. She has stitched to the latest video who said that we treat the Holocaust like the worst thing that has ever happened in human history, and she went deep into why it is not the worst thing that has ever happened in human history and state other things that happened. I have put together the clips, so let's just jump right into it.
People treat the Holocaust as if it's like the worst thing that ever happened in human history. And
You have no idea how much I love having this conversation. Let's have this conversation because a lot of people don't understand that certain things are considered genocide that we live through every single fucking day. The reason why most people think that the Holocaust is the worst tragedy to ever happen to humanity in the modern era is because Israel paid for that to be the reality. Because the numbers just factually aren't there. You know what I mean? Not to be a bitch, but the reality is with humans and power, genocide stuff happens all the time. There's a reason why our frame of reference in the Western world uses the Holocaust as the worst tragedy to happen to humankind in the modern era. When as if you go back, go click the I tag the person down below and watch that full video. The scale of slavery is absolutely insane when you try to put that in perspective. So let me try. Also, hi, my name is Madison, the creator behind the Madison channel. I have a podcast called Bloodstained where I talk about history through the lens of true crime. Season 1 is all about slavery. I know it's sad, but it's important information. Hit the link in the bio to listen or watch or subscribe to my YouTube channel and check it out. Boom. I will never forget that, and I say this every chance I get, I will never forget when I realized that slavery was happening on both coasts of Africa at the same fucking time. The Arab slave trade was happening in East Africa, and the transatlantic slave trade was happening in West Africa on the West Coast, and they were funneling millions of people at the same fucking time outside of the continent of Africa to work and do forced labor in other regions, okay? This is important to understand because the way we are taught history as a tool of indoctrination, but not a tool of truth. So we learn about things in a very linear sense and not a circular, holistic sense that's thematic. When you learn about things in a linear way, it individualizes a situation. So when we learn about slavery, we're just thinking about the transatlantic slave trade. But as we are living through right now, we know that there's many history-making things that happen in a single moment, at a single time, at the same damn time. So I will never forget when I learned that the Arab slave trade both predated, it started in the 7th century, predated the transatlantic slave trade, and postdated the transatlantic slave trade. It ended in the 60s. Yeah. Some say it's still going on because of how the labor, the not the forced labor, but the domestic labor routes that Africans go to outside of the country to make money to send back home are very similar to the slave routes back in the day in terms of the East African slave trade. But that's a conversation for another day. If you want more tea on that, again, go to my YouTube video, go to my podcast episode about this. It's podcast episode 0. But we have to understand that Both of these slave trades were responsible for upwards of 20 million people being forced into labor, not to mention all the people that died on their journey, which is not really calculated because, of course, we weren't thought of as human beings to be worth calculating except for someone's bottom line. So at the end of the day, we still are estimating the true scope of loss when it comes to the slave trade. I say all of this to say, right? Imagine if we went to school and you learned about the theme of genocide and not just the Holocaust. And imagine how important that would be for you to understand the patterns of genocide, how it happens. Is it economic distress that leads to genocide? And how do they prepare people to target a group of people to completely annihilate? What is the marketing for genocide? What are the patterns leading up to genocide? What are the conditions that make genocide possible? So many things would fit under that theme. You would see residential schools under that theme. You would see reservations under that theme. You would see redlining under that theme. You would see police brutality under that theme. You would see food deserts under that theme. You would see everything under that theme. But the reality is, if they did things thematically, it would build solidarity amongst people who are marginalized by Western society. So instead, they teach things linearly instead of thematically in order to individualize these problems so they can have the space to skew the in between. But the reality is, there is a reason why you are taught in the Western world that the Holocaust is the worst thing that ever happened in modern time. It was terrible, yes, but it was not the only genocide to happen in the modern times. It wasn't even the one with the biggest body count, if we're keeping it a bean. So yeah, link in the bio for the pod. I am at episode 4 now. Episode 5 is coming out next week. I will be talking about slave rebellion, so get into that. Mwah. Love you.
One of my mutuals made a great point when it comes to people talking about the Holocaust versus slavery. When people bring up the Holocaust, they understand how bad it was. Like in every single minute detail, if you ask someone like how bad was the Holocaust, they'll be able to say in every detail what exactly happened to Jewish people. Justifiably so. But when it comes to slavery, I feel like you guys just don't do it a justice. They used to eat us, bro. They used to eat us. They used to use our skin as furniture. They used to use our hair as insulation for their clothes. They used to castrate us in streets for public display in front of their children. They used to essay black men as a form of intimidation to other black men. Look up what buck breaking is. I'm telling you right now, them books in high school that you used to read about slavery do not do it justice. These people were such sick animals to us. It's so crazy how people just gloss over like, oh yeah, slavery happened. What? I really need y'all to see the severity of how bad slavery was. The same way y'all do the Holocaust.
What do you guys think about what they all said? Slavery is so bad that when you start reading some of the things, you might shed some tears. But there's a way they made it seem like the Holocaust was the worst thing that ever happened in human history. Every single thing the other guy who to the video talked about is the absolute truth. Like they will literally make sons have intimacy with their mothers. And how that is where the mother have come from. They will literally put stick in women to abort baby out of them. They will do a lot of things, use, black people's skin as leathers. Like they will inflict pain and even the unaliving and still be celebrating around them while they are unaliving a black person. Like it's literally very horrible. Like it is insane the things that happened during slavery. But I want to hear what you guys think about what they all said. Yes, the Holocaust is bad, but there's a way they water down slavery that you would think that is not as bad. I think this is where it is easy for some people to say, oh, it happened in the past, get past it. Oh, it has happened for so long, get past it. But when you start reading the things that these people were subjected to, it's so hard to even imagine. And I think this is where these people are coming from. So let me hear what you guys think about everything they said. There were so many people in the comment section of that lady's video as well. And that's the reason why I'm telling you guys to go check out the video on TikTok, because in the comment section alone is like another of information as well. So you can as well go check the comment section of our video. There are so many comments on that video. This person said, I had this big realization when I watched Hotel Rwanda, and the part where they went down the road and they couldn't see in the road was extremely rocky, just to discover it was not rocks or pothole. The rabbit hole I went down, someone replied and said, the rabbit hole I went down trying to learn how Rwanda happened in the first place, and of course, colonizers. I am shocked. This person said, I said this in high school in the 90s and got in trouble with my history teacher. I was ashamed and, of course, silent. Thank you for being brave and having this convo. We all know they are the one who even wrote history. How can you slap someone and still write a story about how the person felt when you slapped them? That's basically how history is being told, especially for Black people. This one said, linear teaching is why I used to hate history class. It left me so confused and I couldn't conceptualize anything I was taught. It wasn't until ninth grade when I had a teacher that taught me. Another person said, another thing to think about as a history teacher, history isn't taught well in school. These are things historians know, not the general public. History is frowned upon. No one cares for it. This person said, I will always speak about Native people and how Native Americans saw one of the worst genocides in history and how Thanksgiving is just a way to placate this truth. We are monsters that took 1 ounce of kindness, wiped the slate clean. Yet entire languages and cultures vanished due to this cleansing. And unfortunately, indigenous people were all over the world faced the same. They are truly so strong, and respect isn't even strong enough to describe how amazing they are. Another person said, this. I remember first time learning about the Holocaust in school, and the way it was taught gave the impression that it was the only atrocity of its kind, not to mention the focus on who the victims were. I took a college course called Genocide Throughout History, and the professors were Holocaust survivors, and even they said race is why certain tragedies are highlighted and others are hidden. Last one I have here said, a whole continent development was upended, depopulated, and impoverished due to the slave trade, slavery, and colonialism, and lasted for hundreds of years. That is the worst human atrocity. Let me hear what you guys think about what these people are saying. Like I said, this comment, lots of information as well. Just go into the comment section and read more. There's a lot. I can't cover everything in this video, even if I wish to. Thank you guys so much for joining. Please subscribe to the channel and I will see you in the next one.